Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Chase. So today we are going to do a quick FOMC recap. We'll look at ES and we'll look at Bitcoin. All right, getting right into it. So we're talking about FOMC. Here's what I took away from it. Talk about how I feel about it after, but first let's just go through some of Powell's thoughts. So he said the full effects of rate hikes and monetary tightening and whatnot are not felt yet. Says there's more work to do. We'll be maintaining a restrictive stance for quite some time. That's sort of the ongoing narrative that he continues to print. He said ongoing rate hikes are required. It takes time. Again, these are the same things, right? And the hikes are slowing, so we're now at 25 BPS, but it's data driven. So if things do get better faster, obviously they can pause quicker, or if things become worse and inflation looks like it becomes entrenched, then they'd probably have to, hike even more. He always talks about prematurely ending hikes and how much of a problem that could cause. So they will stay the course until the job is done. When it came to the questionnaire section, he says, he doesn't really focus on the short-term moves, but on the sustained changes to the broader financial conditions. And we're not yet at a restrictive policy stance, or it's not strict enough yet, which is why they expect ongoing hikes. Conditions for a pause, someone asked him about. He said that the minutes come out in 3 weeks, and to have, he didn't really say big focus here, but he was answering a question that told me to keep a big focus on this aspect, that it's gonna, the committee is going to give us more information about the path forward and what they're looking for to ease or what they're looking for to tighten even more. The committee does not believe in pauses yet. Again, the new forecast in March, that may be the minutes. And then he ended off by answering a question that he said he's not going to persuade people to have a different forecast, which means the question was asking basically why the market was going up. And he said, well, the market's, this isn't his exact words, but basically he was saying that the market was going up because the market is believing that this is all over. Inflation will be coming back down to 2%, and it'll be done in a somewhat easy fashion, which is why markets are going back up. Powell doesn't believe this. He says that he's not going to try to persuade people to have a different forecast. Essentially, he's saying he doesn't agree, in my opinion, with how the market is viewing it, but he's not going to try to persuade people. He's not going to come out and say the market shouldn't be going up. So he's not going to persuade people to have a different forecast on how inflation is going to play out. But his forecast is that it's going to take time, and they're going to need to keep rates higher for longer. Again, that thing he keeps saying, that's the narrative he keeps saying, higher for longer, higher rates for longer. And so basically, sip. Let me take a sip. So basically, when I go back and I think about it, how I feel about it, I think the market is in general becoming, like if someone was to tap your arm over and over and over and over and over again, eventually you don't feel it anymore. I think that's what's happening with the market, is that he just keeps saying this higher rates for longer, for meetings and meetings now in a row, and the market seems to not really care anymore. There hasn't been any major new statements that he has made to sort of shock the market or to tell the market, to back off, so to say. It's just the same. It's the same song and dance every time. His tone doesn't sound extremely convincing, and I'm seeing other people say stuff like that as well. But at the end of the day, if we're taking him at his word, he is saying that he disagrees with the forecast that essentially that the market is having. He doesn't agree with how the market is moving in relation to the forecast on inflation. He thinks that it's going to take higher rates for longer, and the market is thinking that it's not going to take higher rates for longer, that the problem is going to be solved quite soon. So the question is, who are we listening to here? Are we listening to the market, or are we listening to the Fed? And can we say that this is more than just a bear market rally? I mean, if we pull out something like, I think this is 200 moving, we print it on the weekly. I mean, never really even, typically when you have really tough financial conditions, you have a move below the 200 week moving average. And, I thought that the whole COVID situation and whatnot, and we could be doing something like this right here, where, we bounce off, we rally right here, right? If you look at this, you sort of look at this price action in here, and I think I originally saw this from Michael J. Burry. But if you look at this, it is somewhat similar. And I had actually looked at this in the past too, seeing these bounces off the 200, and then this strong rally right here with this sort of topping formation that we saw up here, sort of a topping formation, bounce off the 200 moving average, and maybe we go below at some point. But again, a lot of this is very just, talking out of my ass, for lack of better words. I think there's, to try to guess, what his tone is and what he means and all this stuff. At the end of the day, if you're just trading day to day, it's not a big deal. But I noticed that a lot of people have questions about, well, I mean, I know what it is. A lot of people just want to be able to buy and pray, right? You just want to get in and hold and be rich. I get that, of course. It would be nice, but it's typically not how it works. And I can't really feed you that. I just don't think it makes sense to say that, oh yeah, we've seen a bottom here yet. I mean, Powell himself is saying that he disagrees with the forecasters, and the forecasters are essentially how the market moves. I believe that Powell is essentially saying he disagrees with how the market is moving, essentially, that it's not reacting properly. That's my take on it. Okay, regardless, let's get into the price action. We can go right to the weekly and just mark out some things, make it nice and easy. So we had a low, we swept the low, right? You had a high. It's very possible we could go to this high. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that's doable. I remember when we swept this that I wasn't content at all with the sweep, that I wanted more. If you had followed me back then, you knew this. I said, at this we need to, run this in a major way, another sweep or something, boom, and then we'd go. We barely got anything. We got like a day and a half worth of price action before it nuked. Nonetheless, so what we could see now potentially, I would say, is move above. Obviously you don't really have the liquidity above here. This was on an FOMC day here too. If you've been wondering why I've been a little more quiet, it's because of shit like this. I mean, I don't think this price action has necessarily been that clean and that opportunity producing, in my opinion. If you got a good entry, it's been great. All you've had to do is hold, and there's been no problem. But outside of that, I don't see that there was like a ton of value here. I mean, this has already been swept, right? So we're going to sweep this again. Okay, that's fine. This has already been swept, so we're going to sweep this again. Okay, it's hard to picture a target right here as far as I'm seeing it. But, if I have to give you guys something, I would say this is a range low, this is a range high, this is a sweep of the range low, and now we go up to the range high. See it push up into here, look for the sweep, back inside, play it back to the equilibrium, something of that nature. That'll be a potential trade opportunity right there. Outside of that, we can move over to Bitcoin. I don't really have a ton to say on ES right now. So we move over to Bitcoin, looking at this. When did things change? Well, we were on a strong, we'll go use a different chart. So, old bull market high, comes up, tests it, big breakout, puts in a high, huge retrace, comes up, takes liquidity, second push, breakdown, where was our major support? Essentially in here. Look at all these wicks. Support, 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 blah, 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 blah. Support flips to resistance right here, okay? 30K. But now we do have more of an inefficiency in here, and that can also line up with support levels there. You could take this as a range high here, and that would be your range low right there. So high, low, right? These are things that we could, there's many ways to look at it, right? I'm just showing you guys various ways to look at it. But if you had a range high and a range low, and then support, 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 breaks down, inefficiency in here on this whole move, right? We can see that. Major move down. Do we get a major move up? We'll have to see. But where did things change? That's really what's important to me. I had originally, saw this as our resistance level. Obviously, I thought that we could potentially sweep the highs, but once we broke through here, things really changed. I think this is your level of, basically your must-hold level, right? If we were to break back down below here, I think that's very not good. Move down to the daily. I think that means new lows, to be honest, if we were to break down through here. Could maybe sweep this low. But any extended duration, if you flip this low back to resistance, that's new lows in my opinion. Targeting wise, if you're in long from in here or somewhere in here, I would say that it looks like you get up into here. But Bitcoin has been known, it's been notorious to cuck the target, so to say. I remember during this rally, I was looking for here, at least a retest of the low, right? So we could see a low of support, this close right here on the daily, and then the daily retests here and rejects hard. I remember on this move up, I was looking to push into here, and we didn't. Again, it sort of cucked the move, and that was the end of it. Strong, sort of a block here, support before the major move down, impulse of origin down, whatever you want to say. Comes back up. Resistance, resistance, resistance. We could see that there. Whoops. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Pushes through. Okay, now, I would want to say that this should be your support level. If there was ever a push into here, this should hold. Again, I talked about a potential sweep of this, but that's not what I would want to see at all. That would be my last ditch effort of support. I'd be like, okay, if we sweep this, and this doesn't hold, it's over. That's how I see it. But if we push it, if we do eventually come down, I would want to long off this area here to go to here if this doesn't already get tapped first. Now, if this does get tapped first, then I would not be that interested in longing support much at all. I would maybe take one bounce off of here, play it to like there, something of that nature, right? But you got to keep in mind when Bitcoin, if you've been around for a while, when Bitcoin does these rallies, these pushes that give no retracements, when you leg, no retracement, okay? Leg, no retracement. Legs, no sweeps of liquidity. When you get no retraces and you get no sweeps and you get nothing for anyone to enter, in my opinion, it's just, if you thought about it from like a supply and demand perspective, what it always feels to me like is it's a bit artificial. It's causing people to FOMO in, and it's providing exit liquidity for whoever wants out at these prices. Again, that theory would mean a lot if we didn't sweep this. I tend to think we do sweep this, but if we don't, then I think that theory definitely holds some viability, or whatever you want to say. It's really these strong rallies that don't give any retracements. They almost always end in just nukes that don't even, you get a little bounce, and it's like, there's no support on the way down. Rather than, it makes it sound like I care, but I really don't. But my point is, like, rather than letting people be a part of the move, it just goes up, 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 and then it goes down, 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 down. And no one ever gets to be a part of the move unless you gambled in at the bottom. And that's fine. Hey, for those who did, good fucking job. That's awesome. But where are the retracements? Where is the healthy move? Okay, right? That's the key word right here, healthy. This isn't that healthy. We've never even swept the liquidity on the move up. I mean, I guess you have one sweep here, but you don't sweep any of this. Like, where is a healthy retracement to let more people bolster this move? To me, it's just, it's going to be all the way up and it's going to be all the way down. And we've seen it before. But yeah, I mean, just zooming out on this. This is the support you want to hold if we come down. This was a potential liquidity to watch, but really we never even had a major sweep, right? So I was talking about looking to short this. Never did, because there was never any, there was never anything that said to short this. Look at this daily close. You're going to short this when your daily close candle looks like this, and I'm pretty sure I said this as well. I had originally presented an idea of potentially shorting a swing high, and I'm pretty sure I posted on Twitter and said, look at this daily close. I'm not shorting this. And luckily so, because there was no reason to. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it moves up to here. That, like I said, that's my thought. But again, I've been quiet for a reason. I don't feel the need to post a lot when I don't feel like I have great ideas. So, a lot of people are asking, new video this, new video that. Well, here it is, but I'm sure in many ways it could be underwhelming because I don't have a ton to say. In regards to this overall move and this push off, this bottom, local bottom, whatever you want to call it at this point, it's strong, right? But I don't believe it's healthy. I think that the more emotional people are about it, the worse their entry point is. See a lot of people getting, angry at anyone who even creates a bullish scenario. Those people are long from in here because they're calling for new all-time highs or something. Crypto Twitter has been calling for a bear market rally for a whole year, right? They've been waiting for a year. They were calling for it here. They were calling for it here. They're calling for it here. Calling for it here. I mean, now you finally get a strong rally, and they're saying that the bottom's in. They're saying, oh, it's a new bull market. But Powell doesn't think it's a new bull market. So, I don't know. Either the talking heads on CT are, more experienced than Powell. They know better than Powell on how the market should move. Or, I don't know, maybe the world is just addicted to up only. But in my opinion, this isn't up only to me. This doesn't look like up only. Does this look like up only to you? I don't know. I think people are like way too, always overly emotional and whatnot. And I guess I understand it. People are just, they're defending. I always say they're defending their money. When people are talking about longs and shorts and they're bashing each other, what they're doing is they're defending their money. So they're long, so they feel the need to, bash everyone else because they're trying to protect their position. They're trying to talk it into reality, so to say. And when I really look at this from outside here, I think, man, this is a major downtrend. I think we have consolidation over here where the liquidity could be swept. But I don't really see us getting past here, even in, a best case scenario. I would think that if we didn't take this liquidity and retrace, if we didn't do a retrace here and we just kept going and kept going, I would say that the first test of this level is 100% a short. I'd be looking to short that, and we go from there. But yeah, I guess that's my thoughts in a nutshell, right? I wish I had more to give you guys, but again, I try to keep my posts and my videos and whatnot to when I feel I have quality to share. And while I'm sure some of you think that there was some good quality in here, maybe there was, maybe I shined a light on a couple things. But again, as far as trading goes, which is my main focus, I don't feel like there was a lot of trading education or trading setups or whatnot to give you in here. It's more of just general thoughts, general thesis, right? Because look at these moves, right? These moves are thin. I don't know where these are thin moves. You're not getting when you're getting price action like this, there's tons of trading opportunity. When you're getting price action like this, that's just one move. There hasn't been much opportunity in here. You either got long or you FOMO'd long, and that's it. And now you're on CT talking about, oh, anyone who says anything bearish is an idiot. Whatever you want to say. But yeah, I mean, I've been quiet because there's not much to talk about. It's a strong bear market rally so far. We take it for what it is. There's liquidity here. If we sweep this liquidity, we come back down, that's a possible short opportunity. If we just sweep above this and flip it to support, potential, I don't even think I could be longing at that point, but we look to get towards, 28, 29K. Definitely a short opportunity on the first move. Probably rejects quickly. First tap of this. That's why I just erased that and drew it again. Probably get a quick tap and a quick retrace. Something of that nature. Yeah, those are the things to watch for. In the coming days and weeks, I'll probably be more active around New York Open. Maybe we'll get into some more ES trading and whatnot, things of that nature. As always, these videos are sponsored by Prime XBT. Big shout out to them. You can sign up and deposit with the links at the bottom of the screen. If you do that, that keeps these videos coming. Very much appreciate it. If you have any thoughts, comments, feel free to post them in the on the tweet. Or in the YouTube comments, like and retweets and all that stuff. Thumbs up, always appreciated. Thank you very much, everybody. Hope you've been having a good couple of weeks while I've been sort of gone. And we will talk again soon. All right, have a good one.